Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to someone extra exciting who I have been looking forward to speaking for a while. Toby Fuhrmann is 1/4 of the dark rock metal German band Unzucked. Now forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, I am not very good at German. Toby is a self-professed writer, drummer and drinker and is definitely a connoisseur of beer. In this interview, Toby chats to me about what the band have got up to during lockdown, what's in the pipeline ahead, and shares with me some hilarious anecdotes about tour life. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Hi Toby, so I would like to say thank you for speaking to me. I'm really over the moon. I'm really glad that you've taken this time. So the first thing I'd like to ask you is, could you tell me how to pronounce your band's name properly? Because I don't speak German and I always say things incorrectly, and so I'm pretty sure I'll say it wrong, but Unzucked? Is that correct?
Unzucht.
Okay, I'll try it. Unzucht.
Yeah, almost there. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, now I can say the band name Unzucht. Let's crack on.
Actually, that was like part of why we chose the name, because we thought it was like, we were sure that nobody outside of Germany would know what it means, but we figured like once people heard it, then they would know it's German and it's fun to them. And when we came to the Czech Republic for the first time in like our first year of existence, every time we said the band name, everybody's face was lighting up like, yeah, all right. Okay, you're in a band. Come on.
Actually, that's just given me an idea of something I'd like to ask you. What does Unzucht translate to?
You could translate it as fornication, but that's like
it's too hot for TV.
Yeah, probably. But it's just like one bit of it. It's also like a really old word that was like used in the Middle Ages to like to describe anything that's not how do you say it? I don't. What I'm trying to think about is like if the church doesn't approve of anything, like maybe sexual activity before marriage or something, that would be like enough to be called Unzucht in the really old days.
So is it like unclean or like naughty, sort of a, I don't know.
Yeah. Everything that's in that area can be can be grouped together, and then it's all Unzucht.
It's very metal. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me, because obviously this is something I've been asking a lot of people I've interviewed. What have you been up to since Corona basically shut down the world?
Watching lots of Netflix, basically. The first couple of months was really terrible for us, because we were just about to start our tour. We're like literally days away from the start of our tour. Then we had to postpone it, so there was a lot of work involved with that. Luckily, we have our booking agents who does all the work with us, and that was a bit of a drag. And then things were looking up last summer, as you know, and then things were looking not so good, and so we had to postpone the tour 2 times already. And now it's supposed to start on September 30th. We still don't know yet, though. So just hanging on. And well, after a while, after we realized it wouldn't start as soon as we hoped with the touring bit, then we started writing a little, and also went to the studio this spring and recorded some things. So yeah, keeping busy.
I've just thought of something I'm gonna ask you it later. So for you as a musician, what's it like not being on tour?
Terrible. It's actually, even when I'm not on tour, I'm also touring as a merch guy with other bands. So this was really not something I have been used to for the past 12 years, to like just be stuck at home. And then you couldn't even go out. It was like total, like nothing. nothing left to do. You couldn't even go to the pub, as you know. So I don't know. It took me several weeks to get used to it. Then I thought, okay, you might as well try to like relax a little or make the best out of it. But I think it's enough now.
No, I agree. So you had this time off. Did you like miss everyone? Was it like being kind of separated from your family? Because I imagine on tour you guys all get pretty close. You're a pretty tight network.
Yeah, sure. So all you could do was like Zoom or something and like meet everybody online. That's pretty much all that was left. So since like the band and I don't even live in the same city, none of us lives in the same city, and also the crew lives all across Germany. So it's not like we hang out that much if we don't meet for a show or a tour. So that was not the thing, but it's so there's so little shows that it was really, really weird and actually really nice when we met then again for the first time last year.
Did you get drunk?
Yeah, it's like a little, not totally. because it was still different. Like there was a damper on the mood. Was I don't know. Was weird. Because if the circumstances would have been different, usually we would like, hey, long time no see, party on, like like you suggested. Then it was just like, okay, let's see where this goes. Cheers, you know.
It must have been hard to kind of get optimistic about anything because, like you were saying, at some point it seemed like we were at the end of the tunnel and that there was light and there was hope again, and then everything closed down and it was just, oh, it was the worst.
Yeah, exactly. So we had like one show last year in October that we were able to play with all the Corona changes that had to be made, like distance from the crowd and distance within the crowd, like only small groups of people were allowed to stand together and stuff like that. And that was actually quite neat, but then the Corona thing got worse again, and that was shut down also, so couldn't continue with any of that. And we had to wait until a couple of weeks ago, actually, before we could play the next show. So, and now we have already played 2 shows this year, and one's coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, you literally jumped to my next question. So you are, well, I follow a lot of different bands on Instagram, and you seem to be among the first to get back on stage. So what's that like? Did you have a moment where you're like, can I still play? Oh my goodness, like, were you nervous? Like, tell me all about what it was like getting back on stage for the first time.
It was weird because we hadn't played since last December or so, I think, December 2019, before we played our first gig last year. So we had to like meet up and actually rehearse for 3 days. And that was really weird because none of us had not played for such a long time ever, I think. And there's also a thing about playing as a band that you can't really rehearse on your own. Like you can try to practice certain things or like listen to songs so you get your memory back about them or something. But it's still different than actually performing. So then yeah, it makes your fingers and your feet hurt and everything hurt. But it's also very nice to get back to performing, because I can tell you now, since we had 2 gigs this year, second one is already much better.
So I suppose that then takes me on to my next question, which is like, what is it now that you've been back on stage? Did you realize, oh my goodness, this is what I've missed the most? Like, did you have a moment of, I've missed this. This is what I love, and you maybe didn't even realize that you were missing it quite so much? What was that for you?
For me, it's like actually seeing people respond to the music, and that was especially nice last Saturday, where we played in a part of Germany that has really low corona numbers right now, so everybody had to make sure that they're at least tested or vaccinated to get in. So everybody did, and then people were actually able to move around freely and not have to wear a face mask. And that was super awesome, just to see people like responding, like not that far away from the stage. And yeah, that's awesome. And I realized I had missed that very much.
So what was the energy like? Was it really like, were people maybe just going a bit extra crazy because there'd been no live music for so long?
Uh, Maybe they were, but I don't know if it was actually showing that much on the outside. But people were like really happy, and you could sense it, you could feel it, and that's what they told us afterwards. That it was so good for them to actually have like a real concert. It's like it's not like a huge thing. It was less than 400 people or something, and of course open air and everything. But it was like very similar to something you would have back in the days, you know, before the COVID shit happened. So very
So,
nice.
sorry, have you been vaccinated then?
Yeah, sure.
Are you double or single?
Double. I'm already double. I'm all done.
Well, that's good news because that means you literally could come to the UK now. The quarantine is if you've been double vaccinated and have your passport, you can come to the UK. So, a hint, hint, maybe you guys should come play in the UK soon.
Yeah, I think that might have been gotten more complicated since the Brexit, but yeah, of course we want to come over as soon as possible.
Like I hope you do too. Otherwise, I will be coming over to Hamburg or to Germany, wherever, to see some live music because I am missing it so much. But and this is onto my next thing. The 10-year anniversary show, man, got cancelled.
Yeah, actually, we had to move it, and we moved it like we wanted to move it for a year because it was also supposed to be our annual year's end show, but didn't get the venue, so we actually moved it for like 12 months and 3 weeks. So the date is in January 22. And when people read it online, they were freaking out like, wow, what's wrong with you guys? You're moving the show for 2 years. Like, it's not 2 years, it's 1 year and a couple of weeks. Sorry.
I gotta confess, I was one of those people. I was like, what's going on? What are you doing to me? And then and it was like, is my ticket still valid? What's going on? And I freaked out so much because I was so looking forward to that show. And you know what? When we were in the early days of Corona, I thought, well, that show is not going to get cancelled. And then we got closer and closer. Yeah. Like, it's not been cancelled yet. And then when it did get cancelled, I think I got a beer and I went into the bath and I just sat there and I stared for 10 minutes at the plug hole. I was so sad.
Yeah, I can totally relate because that was the last thing we were expecting too. It was like, well, okay, we have to move the tour, but at least our anniversary show is safe because it's so far in the future. But then, okay, from March to December, actually turns out time just flew by. Then we had to move it. So, and then when we did move it, we thought, okay, now it's really safe because it's January 22. There's nothing that can happen. And now we actually have to think about like, what if it doesn't get better within the next couple of months, you know?
Oh, don't say
it's so crazy because there's like nothing to plan, like no security whatsoever. And everybody's freaking out about it. The agencies are freaking out about it. The clubs are freaking out about it. All the people that work in the live music industry. And it's just terrible and it's sad. And I just hope that everybody can get vaccinated as soon as they can. And hopefully things will move from there. I'm not expecting it to like be completely okay, but I think it will be better. It's like one step in the right direction. And what more can you do?
Yeah, that's very true. So it was a really exciting lineup that you had for the anniversary show because obviously it was your 10-year anniversary. It was a big deal. But now that everything's opening up and concerts look like they might go ahead next year, and even some are going ahead this year, are you going to have any scheduling conflicts? Are you still going to be able to get all your guest stars to come along, or is it going to be a problem?
So far, so good. We just so far we are planning with everything we have in store. There's going to be some surprises as well, of course, for the anniversary show. But
you're not going to tell me. You're not going to give me a hint. Something
nope.
to type.
Well, you know that Lord of the Lost and End of Green are going to be playing, but besides that, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Oh, that's so cruel. That's really unfair. So you've been telling me that you've already got some shows this year lined up. Well, what's in the pipeline for you guys next year? What other shows have you got lined up? Is there big stuff coming up? Have you got any singles or albums? What is on the cards for you in 2022?
Actually, this is the first time, I think, in the history of the band that I can't really tell you anything about it because we're not that sure yet. So we figured it since everything's so unsure at the moment, we might as well take it a bit easier and not stress ourselves out about it, because once you start getting into these things, you have to consider everything else, the messed up touring schedules, and we haven't even played our tour for the last album that's come out, and that's already 18 months ago or something. It's crazy. We haven't been able to play one regular show from that tour. So I think we're just gonna try to first get that out of our system. And obviously also for the fans who already bought tickets to see these shows. And once that is done, then we can concentrate on the next phase.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those fans, and I'll be sat there waiting, updating Instagram, waiting for you to announce something. So you just did touch on that there, but it's something I've been asking other musicians as well. The scheduling conflicts. I was chatting to somebody who works at Ticketmaster, and they said to me the logistics of getting all these bands back on the go, all the venues, everything. And some venues have not fared very well during COVID. Some have even shut down. The logistics of getting 2022 in motion is going to be a nightmare. So, I mean, have you heard anything like that or experienced that?
Actually, the experience a couple of weeks ago, which was a really huge letdown for me. I was so looking forward to be sharing the stage with Danzig for the first time at Mera Luna Festival. And we had already made sure that we play on the exact same day, on the same stage, and everything was worked out. But now it turns out he's not coming to Germany for the 2022. So, oh well. It was all mapped out. That's terrible. It would have been our first time with Danzig. How awesome would that have been?
I agree, and that just seems to be the theme of this year. Is just kind of been we have a saying in Scottish. In Scotland, we have a saying, it's a Robert Burns thing, the best laid plans of mice and men aft gan agley. So it's you can plan as much as you want, but it's all going to go to tits, especially with the corona hanging around. And it's I'm so hesitant to get hopeful. I'm really hesitant because, the Delta variant and everything happening, I'm it's coming back. So I'm just so reluctant to get my hopes up for anything. There's a show in September. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I am starting to get my hopes up, but I'm trying not to.
I think that's all you can do. Don't get your hopes up too much, but also don't lose hope, because I'm still really convinced that we will get back to normal eventually. And I just hope it doesn't take that much longer anymore, but who knows? I'm not a scientist, and I think even they are having a hard time figuring it out at the moment.
So, talking about your last album, which was obviously quite a while ago and kind of got put on ice because of Corona, you had some really interesting collaborations on there with different artists like Andy Dorner, Johnny Death Shadow, Groove Venom. Am I saying that right? Groove Venom. Yeah. I love so many bands, but I can't say their names. Then when I say them out loud, people are like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, I just can't speak properly. But yeah. So you've had all these really exciting collaborations. Is there any ones coming up that possibly you might hint at to me or tell me about?
No, not really. No collaborations planned at the moment.
Are you sure? I feel I saw something on Instagram that possibly hinted that possibly you were maybe going to be doing something with another German metal band from Hamburg.
um, okay.
I do my research.
I'm not really sure right now.
You're just like, no comment, no comment.
Yeah, no comment.
Okay, well, so what for you, what are you most excited about for next year? What keeps you going right now?
um, I think again the playing live thing, which is what what we do, and that's like pretty much most most what we do. Like we're not really a studio band. We're just prefer to be out and playing, and so that's why it was especially hard on us last year, because we kind of took a break from touring in 2019 because we felt like, okay, we played a headline tour in Germany and also so many shows in other countries from like 2013 uh, through 2018 for like 6 years straight. So we thought, okay, we have to play a little less. So we just played a couple of festivals and stuff like that in 2019. And then we wanted to come back full throttle in 2020. So that didn't work out. And I'm looking forward to 2022 that we can finally like make up for it.
Okay, so you seem to be on tour quite a lot. You're a bit of a tour monster. So when you're on tour, what is the one thing you have to have with you?
Beer.
Okay, then what brand of beer?
Actually, we are a band that kind of digs to try the local brews in every city we go to. So yeah, no preferred brand. We
Okay.
actually have like on our rider just give us a good local beer. That's all. So it's better to try new things, I think.
I agree with you on that point. So then my next question, I hope you've got a good answer for this. When you played in Edinburgh, what did you drink?
Oh, I think we didn't drink a local beer there because we only drink what we get, and we probably had like Red Stripe or something. I don't quite remember what we had in Edinburgh.
Because Edinburgh is the home to Brewdog. It's the original Brewdog city, so I would imagine you'd
Oh,
have been like,
really?
yeah, I thought you'd have tried some Brewdog at least.
Yeah, I didn't even know. But of course, I know Brewdog, and they have like several. Like they have a brewery in Berlin now, as you probably know, and also um, like a restaurant in Hamburg.
Mhm.
So you probably already know that Klaas and P from Lord of the Lost have the little dog tattoos on their legs.
Oh my god. Why would you do that? I love Brewdog, but not
Because
enough to get a
you
tattoo.
you get a discount if you show the Brewdog tattoo, and that's why they got it.
Are you that desperate for a discount?
I'm not, but they are.
Love that. So wait though, on the topic of drinks, if you were in Scotland, surely you must have tried our national drink. Iron
Uh,
Brew. The orange
I
drink.
remember, actually the only reason I even know that is because of the rap artist Blade from the 90s. You remember Blade?
No.
I think can I brew and then hit him. Like his album was called "The Lion Goes from Strength to Strength." Can't even pronounce it. Sorry, but I think you know what you know what I was supposed to what it's supposed to mean. Um, yeah, UK hip hop, big thing in the 90s for me at least.
I,
But I don't recall ever drinking Iron Brew. I just know it from that line on the One Blade track.
Well, I know now if you're playing in the UK again, wherever you are, I'm coming with like some iron brew for you, and we'll have like it sounds so bad, but I'm like, I'll sit you down and force you to have some iron brew, some Scottish culture.
All right.
Okay, so my next question then. So on tour, you've got to have beer, any local beer. Where, like, out of all the places you've toured, what city were you just amazed at? Like, you were like, this is absolutely epic. I could live here. This city it calls to my soul on a deeper level.
Uh, I, it's I think it's different, like to be impressed by the reaction of the crowd and to actually want to live there. So can I name several cities, or is it just one that combines everything?
No, you can have two. One for the audience and one for the actual city. I'm generous.
All right, all right. So um, one city that actually overwhelmed me with a crowd response was St. Petersburg in Russia. That was super awesome, and I didn't really see a lot of the city. That's why I can't decide if I want to live there. I'm assuming it's probably beautiful because it's also a very big city and there's like millions of people there. And it would absolutely make sense if it's beautiful, but I just haven't seen it for myself. So um, another thing, Madrid in Spain. That's super awesome, also crowd-wise and also city-wise. Because I think that sometimes people forget that because Spain has so many beautiful beaches, there's also great cities that are near the ocean or the sea, for that matter. So yeah, Madrid probably.
Okay. Final question. On tour, people probably assume it's quite glam and it's all like tour bus parties and whatnot. What is something people just don't understand about touring that sucks?
Sometimes the shower situation, especially in England, actually. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But there's actually like really famous clubs that only have like one shower with like a little heater, and that's like really just this tiny dripping thing, and then like everybody from 3 bands and their crews have to use that one shower.
At the same time?
No, not at the same time, because they wouldn't fit. Otherwise they would probably be forced. Yeah, no. So not waste any water, just everything and everybody under the shower at once.
A girl can dream. But
Yeah.
okay, so I know like a lot of bands or artists get a lot of weird things brought to them. What if somebody was going to bring you something? What would actually be really useful where you're like, "Yes, thank you. I needed this."
What's useful? I mean, we often get bottles of Jack Daniels. Like that's actually really useful.
I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah, we like to drink. It's no secret.
See, I've had some people say to me, socks are really useful. You can never have enough socks when you're on tour, or like some fresh like boxer shorts or something, and you're like, no, bring me the JD, baby, bring me the JD.
Yeah.
They noted.
Because we haven't really had problems with stinky socks. I know some bands really do. But, in all the tours we've had with Unzucht, that's never been an issue so far.
Or you've drank so much that you didn't realize it was an issue.
That's also a possibility. Yeah. Who knows?
Okay, one last thing. What is the weirdest thing a fan's ever given you? Or what's the weirdest thing they've ever done at a meet and greet and you've just been like, wow?
The weirdest thing I've ever been asked is sign a girl's tits, but not with my name, but Jonathan Davis instead.
That's insulting.
No, I did it. It's fine. Yeah, sure.
Oh my goodness.
I love Jonathan Davis. It's not insulting to me. As long as I get to sign boobs, whatever they want me to sign is fine with me.
Oh, and it was definitely, so it wasn't like man boobs, it was actual girl boobs. Like,
It was actual girl
guy
boobs.
comes up with his man cleavage and is like,
I know what you mean, but I've never had to do that, fortunately.
So, okay, so that's the weirdest. That seems pretty tame. I was expecting something much worse.
I mean, there sometimes is like weird little gifts, but I can't think of something that weird. Like we never got human bones or anything like that. You know, that would have been weird. Only just regular stuff. Like
I follow this drag queen who I love, who is on RuPaul's Drag Race, and people bring her their teeth for some reason, but she's fine with it. So they bring their wisdom teeth to her, and she's got like a little bag of teeth. So I was expecting you to say something really out there. So signing boobs is fine.
That's like awesome. That's awesome.
You want teeth?
I don't want it. I still think it's awesome. So, but I do have like the lower jaw of a horse, because it's actually a Jamaican percussion instrument. And
Wait,
one of my
tell me more about that.
You want to see it?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Well, this is a first for me, so sure.
There it is. There it is.
Oh my goodness.
It's in the horse's jaw.
You really weren't.
And yeah, it's actually I got this from a friend who brought it from Cuba. And I was informed that you can't use like bleach on it or anything, because then the teeth would just fall out of the jaw. You have to let it dry in the sun, so the teeth don't fall out. They just become loose. They're still in here. Then you have to like beat the backbone. That's the sound it makes.
Oh my goodness. Have you had this on stage?
Nope. It's also an art that I haven't fully mastered yet, as you heard. But maybe one day I'll use it on stage.
Maybe in 2022 you'll have that perfected, and then maybe at the anniversary show, one of the surprises will be when you pull out a horse's skull.
And play a jaw solo. Yeah.
Oh, a jaw solo, that'd be amazing. I would expect it. Well, I would love to say thank you for speaking to me. This has been super informative, and I am absolutely still furious that you won't tell me what to expect at the anniversary show. I am mad, but I will have to deal with it, and I will internalize my rage, and it'll be fine. But
awesome. No spoilers, but you'll enjoy it, I'm sure.
I'm sure I'll enjoy it either way, but yeah. No, thank you so much, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time to chat to me, and this has been super informative, and I never actually thought you could play a horse's skull as an instrument. I learned something new today, so thank you.
You're welcome.
You take care.
You take care also. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wasn't that awesome? What did you think of the horse skull? I think that's the first time I've ever seen a horse skull in an interview. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening, and if you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and until next time, you stay classy.